Did you know Michael Jackson was the first celebrity client for the company Clonaid?
My first gen was born in Jersey. However, I was cloned by Clonaid in Canada. My model number is 0112568 if anyone wants to see the registration in Clonaid. All I need to do is take 2 cells off of your body, yours. We give them a small electrical charge. I'm just going to act like a fertilized egg. If I got a fertilized egg, all I need is a receiver in order to make it. So they were hypnotizing women, said they were being invaded by aliens. And the fetus starts growing, right? Needs food. Well, they can use cows and sheep, too. Again, a food source. That's all we need. After about 14 weeks, all of a sudden that fetus is gone. Because they've learned to that's when the fetus starts developing its own blood supply. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows. And the original technology was given to our government by the Greys.
My understanding is that a lot of presidents have already been replaced.
That's right.
Yeah,
I don't think...
They're walking around, they look old, but they basically, some of the people are just second, third copies.
I'll give you something to ponder. Get some old videos of George Bush, when he first came into office. Look at the person and listen to him speak. Look at his actions and listen to everything that's there. Now, it's a lot easier to put somebody out in front to act as even Bush did. He had somebody else that was out there acting like he doesn't look like it. Even Hitler had he had his stand. In fact, his stand-in was the one that they found in the ground over in Germany. Well, our scientists have learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those? It's a synthetic. A synthetics, when you touch their skin, it feels like plastic almost. That's the latest technique. The old techniques, you guys can rent a video, The Boys from Brazil. Rent it, because in it gives you the exact way how our government's been making people.
Really?
The movie Boys from Brazil was written by Ira Levin. He was an American novelist whose book centered around exposing Satanism, the occult, human cloning, and ritual murder. He also wrote Rosemary's Baby and The Stepford Wives. Jeffrey Peterson is an American tech pioneer who created the Latin social media site Que-Pasa. He is a Democrat and is very well connected through politics and Hollywood. In August of 2018, he started tweeting a number of threads about human cloning. They have all been removed, but I found and saved an archive of his old tweets. This is not a joke. I said I will never lie to you, and I will not. I clearly overheard it, and I could see that others who were there were also uneasy. I know what I heard. They are doing real-life experiments with cloning on remote islands. This is truth. What I heard that evening at the event where I had been invited was not improper for me to hear. Very clearly, loud and clear, that top personalities associated with the U.S. Democrat Party are very involved in experimentation with cloning of biological beings. His second thread, which appeared a year later in 2019, discussed a conversation he overheard between Nancy Pelosi and John Sperling about a remote cloning project. Jeff Bezos was not there, but they were talking about him. And Nancy Pelosi kept saying, "He's doing mine, he's doing mine."
I preface it by saying, as you probably saw, there are military on the steps of Lincoln Memorial. What is it?
And remember this crazy video of Hillary Clinton?
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
You guys have got to try the cold You guys have got to try the cold child.
In 2015, Hillary Clinton was on Another Round podcast, and she was asked what the weirdest thing about her was. She replied by saying, "I don't sweat." And then she said this.
You guys are the first to realize that I'm really not even a human being. I was constructed in a garage in Palo Alto a very long time ago. People think that, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they created...
They don't even know.
Oh, no. I mean, a man whose name shall remain nameless created me in his garage.
Are there more of you?
Now, I thought he threw away the plans. At least that's what he told me when he programmed me, that there would be no more. I've seen more people that kind of don't sweat and other things that make me think maybe they are part of the new race that he has created, the robot race.
So they're the cyborg
but I don't,
army
you got to cut that. You can't tell anybody this. I don't want anybody to know this. I mean, this has
one
been
will
a
hear
secret
this.
until here we are in Davenport, Iowa, and I'm just spilling my, electronic guts to you.
What a strange thing to say. And who is this mystery man? Some believe that man is Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons was an American rocket engineer, chemist, occultist, and a member of Aleister Crowley's OTO. The OTO is a secret society where you were able to rise to the top through a series of ritual dramas and sex magic rituals. Believe it or not, this group still exists today. In Jack Parsons' personal memoir, he wrote that with assistance from Aleister Crowley and NASA, they conducted the 11-day experiment at the start of 1947. It was written that their goal was to birth a female child who would end up being on the world stage as a dominant feminist to transform humanity and usher in the New World Order. If you fast forward 9 months later in 1947, you have the birth of Hillary Rodham Clinton on October 26, 1947. She is the only woman alive today who has been in the public eye as a leader and a former presidential candidate. And remember, they never thought she would lose.
Conversation about clothes right now. Is that what we're doing right now?
You ever met a clone?
This is a
Have I met a clone? Yeah, I think I met some clone.
See?
Really?
So this clone's a
B.O.B. the rapper backed up Donald Marshall's story. Before YouTube was censored, B.O.B. used to post videos about his cloning center experiences. B.O.B. and Donald both claimed, if you cannot remember your dreams, you are probably a clone. Here are some of B.O.B.'s tweets I saved from years ago.
Celebrities, when they're leaving hits, they're leaving clues all over the place. Everybody can't talk. Pay attention.
Tila Tequila claimed that she sold her soul to the cloning program for her reality show on MTV, A Shot of Love with Tila Tequila. Tila made the rounds on Conspiracy Podcast, discussing her experiences at the cloning center.
Let's just start with my program, darling, Queen Elizabeth, and the pedophilia ring, and the cloning centers. That's right, darling, the cloning centers.
And talked about her relationship with Marshall. She used to go on rants on Twitter, for which she got banned. After she came out about this, she had a brain aneurysm in 2012. Donald Marshall and Tila Tequila both said Bernie Mac was trying to come forward about cloning, and that's why he died.
Hello, Phil Chuba here, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about what happened recently to me at cloning. And a little background is REM phase cloning is they take your consciousness while you sleep and put it in a clone in the cloning center. And as soon as you hit the REM phase of sleep, and you have to stay there until you wake up. They tell people a lot of different BS. It's the fifth dimension, seventh dimension, Nirvana, Shangri-La, time stutter, singularity. They say that it's another dimension, or that it's lucid dreaming, or the astral plane. It's not. You're just in a cloning center, and they're using MK Ultra visual and audio effects to make you see what they want. Now, they've been doing this to me probably my whole life, but now they see me talking to Donald Marshall, and I go to the same cloning center he does now.
After 2012, other cloning blogs and Twitter accounts started popping up disclosing their experiences at the cloning center, backing up Donald's story, and expressing the fear that comes with exposing the cloning situation. Here are more tweets from celebrities about human cloning. And remember when the country of Nigeria thought their president was a clone? And now we have the CRISPR guide to cloning mammals. And even Mary Tyler Moore was into cloning. And what about Paul McCartney? We all know the urban legend of Paul is dead, and that he allegedly died in a car accident on November 9th, 1966. Did you know there is a man named John Holliday who lives at the real childhood home of Paul McCartney in Liverpool and looks exactly like the original Paul? Could this just be a strange coincidence? Did the real Paul really die? And if so, who is this guy? Some say this is William Campbell, who won a Paul McCartney look-alike contest. If you're a Beatles fan, you probably have always wondered why the band broke up after only 5 years. It is because of this man, Theodore Adorno. He was the director at Tavistock and wrote all of the Beatles' music. He died in 1969, the same year the band broke up. And if you have ever wondered how Michael Jackson was able to purchase the entire Beatles catalog, it is because Adorno's estate sold it to him. Here is Paul symbolically placed in a coffin-like box. Things are never what they seem. Did you know Michael Jackson was the first celebrity client for the company Clonade? What is Clonade? Clonade is a Canadian company registered in the Bahamas that prides themselves on being the world's leading reproductive cloning facility. The premise of Clonade was announced in 1997, and the company's intentions were to make advancements for human mortality and to allow homosexuals to produce a child. In 1997, it was announced that the first American couple was going to invest in Clonade by paying $500,000 to have a baby. The couple's names have never been revealed. This is Kid Boo. Listen to what he has to say about Clonade.
My first gen was born in Jersey. However, I was cloned by Clonade in Canada. My model number is 0112568 if anyone wants to see the registration at Clonade.
Here is the CEO and founder of Clonade.
Is Bridget Boisselier, who is scientific director for a private company called Clonade. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Sure. Tell us first what Clonade is and what the company is working on right now.
Okay, so Clonade is a private company. We founded that 4 years ago, got the funding to really have that last August. And so now we have 3 scientists working almost full-time in a lab here in the United States with the major goal for us to produce a human embryo by human cloning.
She is also a member of Raelism, which is a UFO religion. Here you can see the logo, and within it is the swastika and the 6-pointed star. Where have we seen those before? More patterns. Raelism teaches that an extraterrestrial species, known as the Elohim, created humanity with advanced technology. These Elohim created 40 human hybrids that have served as prophets to disclose the human origin. They claim these prophets are Buddha, Jesus of Nazareth, and Muhammad. They also believe that when Jesus returns, it will be his clone.